Hello, my name is Adelina and thank you for joining me. Today I'll be discussing two major tools of direct democracy in Arizona, the initiatives and the referendum. These processes give citizens the ability to create laws, challenge legislative decisions, and shape policy directly. Arizona Constitution specifically reserves these powers for the people, and this makes the state one of the strongest direct democratic states in the country. Arizona Constitution Art 4. Let's explore how these processes work and why they matter. What is an initiative? Citizens propose new laws. Citizens propose constitutional amendment. Requires signatures collection. Appears on the statewide ballot. An initiative is a process that allows Arizona citizens to propose new laws or amendments to the state constitution. Instead of waiting for lawmakers, voters have the authority to draft a measure, collect signatures, and place it on the statewide ballot. This is one of the most powerful forms of citizen-driven policymaking in Arizona and is widely used on major issues such as education funding, marijuana legalization, and election reform. Arizona Secretary of State 2024. What is a referendum? Citizens challenge laws passed by the legislature, allows voters to accept or reject the law, requires fewer signatures than initiatives, suspends the law until voters decide. A referendum is different because it responds to laws already passed by Arizona legislature. If citizens disagree with a new law, they can file a referendum application and collect signatures to place it on the ballot. Once signatures are submitted, the law is paused until voters approve or reject it. This serves as a direct check on legislative power and ensures people have the final say. NCSL 2023. Steps in the initiative process. Draft the proposed measure. File with the Secretary of State. Collect required signatures, submit for verification, measure appears on the ballot. The initiative process is detailed and requires several steps. First, the proposed law or constitutional amendment must be drafted clearly. The campaign then files an application with the Secretary of State. Next comes signature collection, which is a major part of the process. Once signatures are verified, the measure is placed on the general election ballot, where a simple majority determines whether it becomes law. Arizona Secretary of State 2024. Signature requirement. 10% of voters for governor. Statutory initiative. 15% of voters for governor. Constitutional amendment. Requirement come from Article 4 of the Arizona Constitution. Signature requirements differ based on the type of initiative. Statutory initiative requires signatures equal to 10% of the votes cast for governor in the last election, while constitutional amendment requires 15%. These thresholds are intentionally high so that only serious proposals with broad support make it onto the ballot. Arizona Constitution Art 4. McClory 2012. Constitutional change require more support because they permanently alter the state foundational document. Steps in the referendum process. Legislature passes a law. Citizens file referendum paperwork. Must gather 5% of signature. Law is suspended. Voters approve or reject. The referendum process begins when the legislature passes a law that voters want to challenge. Citizens must file their referendum application quickly and meet a strict signature deadline. The signature threshold is 5% of the vote cast for governor, much lower than the initiative requirement. Once signatures are filed, the law is put on hold until the next election, and voters decide whether it should stand. Arizona Secretary of State 2024. Similarities. Both require signature collection. Both appear on statewide ballot. Both allow citizens to shape public policy. Both reflect progressive era reforms. Although initiatives and referendums function differently, they share important similarities. They both require signature collection, appear on statewide ballot, and allow citizens, not legislators, to make final decisions. Both processes were influenced heavily by the progressive movement, which sought to give ordinary people more control over government and reduce the dominance of special interests. McClory, 2012. Differences. This chart highlights the main differences. Initiatives are proactive and allow citizens to create new policy. Referendums are reactive. They respond to laws already passed. The signature requirements also differ, with initiatives requiring significantly more public support than referendums. Understanding the distinction, how to explain why each tool exists and how they are used in Arizona political system. Arizona Secretary of State 2024. Pros of initiative. Citizens bypass legislators, encourage civic engagement, respond quickly to public needs. Initiatives have several advantages. They empower citizens to act when the legislator is unwilling or unable to address a problem. They also increase civic engagement by encouraging public involvement in policy making. Initiatives can also move quickly, addressing emergent issues faster than the legislative process. McClory, 2012. This flexibility makes them popular for major policy change. Pros of referendum. Acts as a check on legislative power, prevent unpopular laws from taking effect, ensures voters have final approval. Referendum provide a direct check on the legislator. If lawmakers pass a controversial law, citizens can oppose it and demand a public vote. This prevents unpopular policies from taking effect before voters can weigh in. It ensures accountability and reinforces the principle that government power comes from the people. NCSL 2023. Why these processes matter: protect citizen power, promote government accountability, strengthen direct democracy in Arizona. Initiative and referendums are the heart of Arizona identity as a direct democratic state. Article 4 of the Arizona Constitution explicitly reserves this power to the people. These tools ensure that policy decisions reflect public will and prevent lawmakers from having unlimited authority. In many ways, they keep the government accountable and responsive to the voters it serves. Arizona Constitution, Art 4. These are the references I used for this presentation. Arizona Constitution 1910, Constitution of the State of Arizona, Arizona Secretary of State 2024, Initiatives and Referendum Handbook, McClory TJ 2012, Understanding the Arizona Constitution, Second Edition, University of Arizona Press, National Conference of State Legislators 2023, initiatives and referendum processes. The Arizona Constitution outlines the legal framework, and the Secretary of State provides step-by-step guidance. McClory's works gives historical context about the progressive movement, and the NCSL explains how Arizona compares to other states. Thank you so much, and I hope you like my presentation.